actually loads up. Prepare. Loading.
All right, let me get this bracket ready.
Once it actually loads up.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Thank you for tuning in for Sports Served Neat,
you just made the list.
hosted by Charles Younger and Marshawn Powers.
When last year I spent more money on spilt liquor in bars from one side of this world to the other.
The bar is open for business.
That is right, ladies and gentlemen. The bar is open for business here on Sports Serve Neat, broadcasting live on my personal YouTube page. That is youtube.com/Charles Younger. I am Charles Younger. This is going to be a fatal four-way today. We got here myself, we got Marshawn Powers, we got Bruce, and we got Gris. Tell everybody hello, gentlemen.
What's going on? How everybody doing?
Good.
Well, first things first, it's another week of quarantine. As you know, Maryland is on lock. No leaving the house, no doing anything, basically, except for essential stuff like food and supplies. How are you guys handling the lockdown so far? It's another week.
Man, I'm here in Maryland. You know, I slid out of Ohio to try to enjoy some freedom in Maryland. But as soon as I got here, man, it's like I'm bringing bad luck to Maryland or something. As soon as I got here, they locked down Maryland. So I'm school done started, knocking out school, but I'm about to get out of here on Thursday. I'm gonna head back to Ohio, stay in Ohio for the rest of the semester, just to lock in a little bit more, get some stuff done, man. Finish the semester strong, finish the show strong, you know, and just just get stuff done, man. Get productive. It is what it is. We're stuck till June, man. Have y'all heard the latest? June 10th.
June 10th.
That's a new one.
Yeah, that's the new one.
Damn, that's gonna make Juneteenth way more better.
Yeah.
Be real freedom. All right, young blood, man. How you hanging? How you living?
You hear me?
Yeah, that's it. Sorry.
Oh, my bad. I mean, it's about the same for real. You know, just now that school started back up, you know, I can lock into that a little bit to give me something to do for once. School ain't even that bad. It's something to do during the day. But other than that, I mean, for me, the lockdown is the same as it was before. I work from home, so just working, doing some schoolwork now. And, you know, hopefully by June it'll be straight and we can enjoy our summer. But I don't know.
Man, yeah, same here. Just, you know, like just waiting for work to come back and, you know, seeing what's going on. I mean, who knows how long it takes for certain numbers of social distancing to come back. You know, like it may start off with 10 people, then it may start off with 20, then it may trickle down to, okay, only offices are open. And then, you know, it might, I think it might be like a domino effect. Like June might be the beginning, but I think it might be like a timely thing to where they can just, society, quote unquote, can go back to normal, you know. So it's just, you know, I'm just waiting for that to figure out when stuff like that's going to happen because, you know, people got to get their bills paid. You know, apparently they didn't hold back rent and utility and things like that in Maryland. So, yeah, tough times, man.
Got to pay them bills on time, man. I mean,
yeah, bro. And so that's literally where my mind is at. Just thinking about that, if anything. You know, people, you know, unemployment going around and food, people getting on food stamps now. Like, you know. Yeah, so it's a big thing right now. So it's crazy. So that's what I did. That's all I'm doing, just sitting back watching how the economy is going to change. Like, how does this affect us financially moving forward? Like, if we take this unemployment now, will it affect us moving forward? If we take this food stamps now, will it affect us moving forward? So that's what I'm trying to figure out before, you know, I just make a hasty move. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to do anything too soon.
Yeah, actually, I was on the phone for about 8 to 10 hours yesterday with all my debtors, trying to create some kind of, you know, hold or whatever in my account, and I got American Express. Surprisingly, was very cool about it. But my car insurance company is like, well, we'll suspend your payment for 7 days, and if you don't have the money by then, just let us know. We'll see what.
You're wilding, man. It's nuts, man. It's nuts.
Allstate is not on your side. You heard it right here first. Dennis Haysbert, I'm coming for you, mother.
Man, that's crazy, man.
Up your butt, Joe Boo.
Yeah, man. It's tough. It's
all
tough.
Right, all right, gentlemen, we got a 5-minute introduction here. So let's go ahead and go into what the topic of this morning was when I woke up watching sports. It was the Final Four of the greatest college basketball players of all time. The list came to Shaquille O'Neal, Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, and Michael Jordan. Now, and they posted that the finals was going to be Michael Jordan versus Larry Bird. And last I saw, it was either tied or Jordan was leading when it comes to the overall voting on Twitter. So my first thing is, what do you guys think of that Final Four? And did your personal Final Four compare to ESPN's Final Four or the nation's Final Four, basically?
Well, I don't even know. Now I gotta go back and compare that. I have to go back. And
let me go back and let me share the Final Four here is when it comes to what ESPN is saying. Where is it? I'm sorry, I lost my. I had it set up for you guys, but I lost it. Okay, where is it? Sorry, I can't find my page I had set up for you guys, and I can't find it. But so it's like I say, it's Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, Michael Jordan, and Shaquille O'Neal. And for me personally, the biggest snub is Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, formerly known as Lou Alcindor, who was 3-time Player of the Year, 3-time champion, went undefeated like twice, I think it was, at UCLA. It was not in the finals, but Shaq, who never won a championship at LSU, pretty much the LSU team was pretty much good, but he was just so dominant, and he didn't win anything there. So, what do you guys think about Lou Alcindor being snubbed from the Final Four?
Personally, I think that was the biggest snub of the bracket because how can you? I don't know what metric that they was using everything on, but Lou Alcindor won 3 championships. He won back to back and was the most outstanding player at that time. So I don't understand how you can not reward somebody as the most greatest college basketball player of all time. You already snubbed him from winning the greatest NBA player of all time when he won 6 championships. So I'm not, he was. They call players now generational players, and at the time, he was a generational player. He created the hook. It was hard to stop him down low. That is, in my opinion, the greatest college basketball player of all time. They changed so many rules because of Wilt Chamberlain and him. I don't understand it.
Yeah, it's like the NBA. Well, not NBA, but these new media outlets. It seems like they want to the cash grab on the big names, and what I'm saying, the popularity. It's not like statistics or the actual culture of basketball. You said what?
ESPN is not new.
Yeah, and that sums up everything Marshawn just said. Bro, how do you put aside someone who's literally changed the game of basketball, the culture of basketball, and now not even just that, how people all around play the game. Championships.
It is a fan poll. So there's a lot of people on Twitter who are responding to the.
There you go, Twitter.
So, and obviously, with over the past 30 plus years, 35, 30, 40 years, everyone considers Michael Jordan the greatest basketball player. Period. But was he the greatest college player? I'll let people say he's the greatest professional basketball player. That's either him or Kareem. But in college, he only won 1 championship as a freshman. He didn't go back ever again. Kareem has 3. Look, if you go to the numbers, I will break up the numbers for you here. Let me go find the page here. If you look at Kareem's numbers, Kareem in 88 games, averaged 26.4 and 15.5 rebounds during the era where still the big man still dominated, but he was just killing. If you look at these numbers over his whole career, he averaged, look at that, 29, 20. He actually got worse the longer he's in college. He scored more points as a freshman than he did as a junior. And then, like I said, they won 3 championships. Part of that UCLA dynasty under John Wooden. But then you look at Michael Jordan, in 101 games, only averaged 17.7, 5 total rebounds, and 1 point assists. Winning 1 championship under Dean Smith. Then you look at Larry Bird from French Lick at Indiana State, 94 games, 30.3 points, 13.3 rebounds, and 4.5 assists. Woo. And you go to Magic at 62 games at Michigan State. He averaged 17, 7.6, and 7.9 assists a game. And then, like I said, the fourth one, which I think is interesting, is Shaq being in the Final Four. His 2-year career at LSU, averaging 21.6, 13.5, and 1.7 assists a game. So I personally think this is the biggest mistake of the whole list. Is Shaq being in the Final Four. As dominant as he was not the most dominant college player of all time. Or at least the top 4 of all time.
Yeah, I think Larry Bird and Kareem got that.
Yeah, that's definitely true. And then even Bill Walton was left out of the GOAT list because he had 2 championships at UCLA.
Yeah,
twice. And look at some of the women who were left out of the list too. Dion Taurasi,
Candace Parker,
Breonna Stewart, the 1 seed who was part of that UConn dynasty. Like none of them were considered great. It's like I definitely think it's definitely male bias when it comes to the greatest of all time, which whatever it is what it is. But Bruce, you're the youngest man in the group here, so what were your thoughts about this Final Four? Did you have any complaints or any questions about how this list ended up to be?
I mean, y'all summed it up already pretty well. I definitely think that Kareem was the biggest snub. And when you look at the way the brackets are organized, Shaq ends up coming from the Final Four out of Kareem's bracket, which I think is interesting because for most people, you might have had that second round matchup looking at the original bracket where it would have been Kareem versus Shaq. And, again, when you just pull up the stats and you actually look at their collegiate career, it's just interesting how you could see these 2 players and believe that Shaq was a better collegiate player than Kareem at the end of the day. But as for Marshawn, and you guys have already said, he was incredibly dominant. I'm amazed that he was left out. As you just said, Charles, I'm surprised at least 1 woman didn't make it, whether it be Taurasi or
all 4. Man or woman.
So. But I mean, as I think Grizz is pointing out, it's a fan voted bracket. So whether you look at across sports, even something like the NBA, the fan voting All Stars, there's always going to be some bias to it. I remember the last time we was on the show, we were talking about how KD was in, I think, the Sweet 16 at that point. But I mean, it's surprising. Obviously, again, that I said to me, Kareem was the biggest snub, but you have to expect that when you let fans vote. People look at Michael Jordan as one of the greatest basketball players, if not for most people, the best basketball player of all time. So I can understand why he would be here when you let, again, the fans collectively vote, even though I think it is clear that he is not the best collegiate basketball player.
Marshawn?
I mean, I don't know, man. I mean, again, to piggyback, the Twitter followers and the Twitter voters and all like that. My bad, I got distracted by a little message on my computer. But the Twitter followers and everything, I mean, I don't know what metrics and anything that they were basing this on. I would love to see. I mean, we live now in the day of statistics, and looking at just everything that Charles showed, I mean, everybody did average 30 points a game. So I mean, looking at that, I can't understand why he's in the finals. But again, you know, it's still hard to argue against 3 championships and be the leading player at them championships. You know what I mean? It's 3 eras. 10 points, shit. I mean, how hard was it to get those 10 points? Was they playing instead of ones? Was they playing, I mean, instead of 2s and 3s, was they playing 1s and 2s, you know? So you could look at all of this stuff so many different ways, you know? So
This quote John Gasaway from ESPN.
okay.
He says here, no offense to Shaq, but Magic and Jordan won national titles, and Bird led an undefeated team all the way to the championship game. Shaq was an exceptional, dominant college performer who went on to have one of the best NBA careers in league history. But it's also true that his LSU team never made it as far as the Sweet 16.
Damn.
So
That.
That's and that was one of my arguments, which was crazy, and it slipped my mind. But when you brought up Shaq, I was looking at his, you know, accolades and everything, and I'm like, man, it's crazy. Like, you don't see anything about Shaq that says like, oh, Final Four or NCAA champion, you know, and that immediately pushes Kareem past him. It's like, okay, you know, let's bring up. I mean, I'm going off topic a little bit, but you can bring up a person like Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons had a dominant freshman season that you could really have. You know, was considered to have. I mean, was really considered for the Wooden Award, everything, Naismith Award, and everything. Didn't make it. I don't even. Did he play it a lot? It was a couple games he missed or whatever. Or I could be wrong, but didn't make it past the first round. Yeah, didn't make it past. His team didn't make it past the first round. You know, so I mean, you have to weigh. You know, well, did he win? You know, Shaq versus Kareem, and that's kind of how I would have taken it as. You know, pushing Kareem past Shaq. You know, Shaq was dominant, 21 points. Is dominant, but you know, you didn't really make it far in the tournament. You know, you was a good regular season team.
And look at who was Christian Laettner from Duke was a 1 seed. I mean, that Duke team in the early 90s was dominant. Bill Walton, who took over for Kareem after Kareem left into the NBA, kept that UCLA tradition running. If you look, like I said, look at even if you go further down the list, you have like Olajuwon, he won a championship at Houston. You know, by Slamma Jamma. You know, you look at guys like I said, go to the women's side, like I said, Tarazi and Breanna Stewart, Nathan Lieber Schultz. Cheryl Miller was not even. Cheryl Miller was considered one of the greatest women's players of all time, and she was not even. She didn't sniff the Final Four. So, like I said,
I don't think any women really made it that far, and it's crazy because you know Breanna Stewart. It just dawned on me. I thought Breanna Stewart won 2 championships. She won 3. She won 3 or 4.
I think she won 3. She went under. She was a part of that team that won 100 some odd games in a row.
Yeah, I thought. I thought she won 4, but you know, she's one of the most decorated women's champions of all time. You know, like she should have definitely made it at least to the Elite 8. You know, like they really didn't give women a solid chance in this bracket.
Yeah, and that goes with what Jamia Hill was talking about.
Yeah. It's crazy because a couple of my so-called friends say like if you repost Jamel Hill on my timeline and stuff, like, you know, don't really follow you and blah blah blah. Like,
I like what ESPN need to stop making these brackets and start dropping that daggone Michael Jordan documentary.
Yeah,
that's what they need to be
doing. That dropped April 19th, man. I sent Charles the schedule. I don't know if Charles sent everybody else's schedule, but I like how they're sending it out. Like, I know April 19th they dropped the first and second episode. Then the following week, the 26th, they're gonna rerun the first and second episode like 2 hours later, like at 7 and 8, and then at 9 they're gonna run the third and fourth episode. And the following week after that, they're gonna do the same thing. Like, it's pretty dope, man. Like, I'm excited, man. Like, I like Jordan. I respect him, man. I was able to see some of his highlights. I was able to see, you know, a little bit of him growing up that I remember, you know, but I'm not a diehard like him. Like, man, I'm a Kobe fan, man. Like, I'm a Kobe fan, man. Huh? No, Kobe. Did Kobe go to college? Where did he go to college?
Yeah, high school.
Kobe was nice enough where he could skip all of that, man. Kobe, LeBron, T-Mac, KG, you know, they don't know nothing about college.
My question is, is this going to be a raw, uncut documentary and sit down, or is this going to be fluffed ESPN work? You know what I'm saying?
Man. How accurate are documentaries, my guy?
Well, I mean, if you got them sitting down with someone who's not biased and then, taking a bribe.
Democracy. Oh, wow. Where'd that come from?
Like if he was sitting down with like, some HBO or Showtime or, saying Stars or something like that, who really want to get down and have an intimate sit down, not ESPN where they're about marketing and image and, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, I want to know, what are we going to see that we haven't heard already? From all the other previous, that's my thing about it. What are we going, with all these episodes, what more are we going to hear that we haven't seen from the last 2 Michael Jordan documentaries already been made? Like, from the 90s to late 90s, early 2000s documentary, we seen 2. So it's like, what more are we going to get that we haven't gotten? Besides, maybe his current grandpa livelihood and being an owner with the Charlotte Hornets and, of course, the Kobe's real serious, but what more are we really going to get? So that's the only thing I'm actually looking forward to, is find out what we're going to get and if there's anything new.
Well, it has to be. It was a 10-part episode, so I mean, you want to have to go dig deep to find some material. I mean, obviously it's ESPN, so there's definitely gonna be a lot of their own personal propaganda because it is ESPN. They have a contract with the the NBA, and so they want to keep that relationship good. And you don't want to burn those bridges. But if you're a legit media source, which ESPN claims to be, you gotta dig deep. You gotta dig deep for some of those stories.
Nah, for real, you're right.
What jersey you wearing, Bruce? You wearing Cavs jersey, Bruce?
Yeah, this is the swingman jersey from 2016. My man Brian,
Really?
Yeah.
Just woke up this morning, threw this on,
He said, I'm feeling like 2016 LeBron today.
He said, how about the bed? Turn my swag on. Hey.
No, man, just felt like putting this on. Ain't been shit to do, so.
Legit.
So end up this segment about the greatest college basketball player of all time. Like it was a.
How about this? Let's do an unbiased ending. How about we change it from the greatest basketball player, from the greatest basketball player to the greatest basketball player that we've been able to watch. Because Bruce been watching basketball. What, I don't know, 15, 16, 17, 18 years, so he's probably seen somebody different than what I've saw, what you saw. So how about we change it up this ending?
That work for me. That works for me.
Okay.
All right. So
how about Bruce ain't said much or nothing so far in the show? How about we let Bruce start? Go ahead, man. Who's the greatest college basketball player you've seen in your eyes? Since you've been
that I've seen, like in the like that I've been able to personally watch.
Yes.
Of your generation, I would say.
Ooh.
Might be the best way to describe it.
Boy, I was not ready for that question. Let me think about that one for a second.
Well, while you take a minute or two, put together a list of like 3 or 4 guys in your head, and we can go around the table here. We can go around the horn. See how I do. I'll go because I already have my 2 or 3 guys. I would say.
Okay.
Obviously, because I'm the senior of the group here. I grew up in the '80s, so I did watch Jordan play. Well, I didn't watch him play much in college. I was like 3, 4, 5 years old when it happened. But he did play North Carolina, which is ACC country. I grew up in ACC country, so I did get to watch him. But I would have to say Grant Hill is definitely one of the greatest college players of all of my lifetime. Kemba Walker, that UConn run, the greatest players of my era. Melo, his run at in Syracuse, even though it's only 1 year, but it's probably one of the greatest freshman years of all time. He's in my list of my generation. And the 4th one, it's gonna be a surprise for you. Actually, it's gonna be Rip Hamilton. Is one of my favorite college players of all time.
So, Rip Hamilton.
That's my.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean that UConn team with like him, Marshall, which is Daniel Marshall, That squad was pretty lit too. I mean, they won a championship as well. So
I would have
chips
to
are always,
say.
you know,
Oh,
go ahead.
I would have to say. Let's see, who did I? Probably. Oh yeah, go with Kemba. I remember Kemba growing in high school, and I used to watch him. He was in college. That he was sick. Aaron Gordon for sure. I used to watch Aaron Gordon in college. Let's see who else. PGCC's own Gina Seifert used to kill him in the paint. 20 and 13 every night, boy. I honestly say that. Yeah, and I'm gonna go with last but not least, Anthony Davis.
Oh, really? The brow.
Yeah, Anthony Davis. I wasn't really much of a college basketball, fan. You know what I'm saying? I'm mainly just like, if I knew about their college career, probably because, NBA highlights and they talking about him during the draft or something like that. And I look back, but never really caught up with him. With so many teams, crazy.
You don't have to worry about 64 of them, so that's the thing.
True.
But all right, I guess we can go. Actually, be honest with you, I'm gonna do amend my list because I was talking trash about it earlier and I didn't do it myself. Diana Taurasi is going to take this place of Rip Hamilton on my list of great players. Because I was talking trash about how women aren't in the Final Four, and I didn't put one in my Final Four either. So that's a little hypocritical. So I needed to change that around. So Taurasi, Ben Gordon, Ben Gordon, Jordan, and who's I already forgot my many concussions. I forgot what I have. Well, come back to me then. Sean, what about yourself? What are you thinking here? Your top four of your lifetime, or you've watched?
Top four of my lifetime. Let's see. Number one would definitely have to be Jimmer Fredette. What Jimmer did at BYU when he dropped 43 points on, man, I laugh when I think about it now, man. Jimmer Fredette, hey, if I tell y'all this, y'all gonna be like, wow. Jimmer Fredette dropped 43 points on Kawhi Leonard. Jimmer Fredette dropped. Like, who? Nobody. When I say that to people, nobody really believes that. Jimmer Fredette dropped 43 points on Kawhi Leonard. So definitely, Jimmer Fredette was definitely one of the most exciting players I've seen. Like, man, just thinking about, just watching his highlights, man. Him and Kawhi had a rivalry going on between BYU and San Diego State. That's how crazy. Like, that's how nice Jimmer was. I don't understand how Jimmer didn't last in NBA. Like, this dude played in the basketball tournament, TBT, on ESPN last year. Was it last year? The year before last, he dropped 41 points in the game, and he ain't been back since because it was too easy for him. Like, Jimmer's nice. Like, Jimmer, I don't understand. But my number two player that I've been able to see, Grizz, I'm going to have to agree with you, man, Anthony Davis. His freshman year, he was just dominant. Anthony Davis was real. His freshman, it was that 2012, 2013, I want to say. Yeah, his freshman year, Anthony Davis in Kentucky with Michael Kidd Gilchrist. I don't think John Wall was on that team.
No, John Wall left a long time.
Yeah, John Wall was a little before.
Eric Bledsoe. They had a dominant team, man. Anthony Davis was averaging like 4 or 5 blocks a game. My number three.
Squat and shit.
Man, my number three player that I've been able to watch, I'm gonna have to go with Trae Young, man. Trae Young was crazy, man. That dude was shooting him. I didn't believe it at first, but Trae Young was tough. Trae Young was crazy, man. He was just shooting from, man. He was the baby Steph, like, coming out of college. I'm gonna go 5 actually, because I got 2 more people. My number 4 player that I've been able to see coming out of college, I'm gonna go with Eric Gordon when he was with Indiana. Eric Gordon was tough. Eric Gordon was very tough. I mean, there's nothing really else to say about him. Eric Gordon was dominant. And my 5th and last player that I've been able to see, Bruce already know where I'm going with this. The great Kevin Durant. in Texas. Rick Barnes had that boy. Rick Barnes had that boy out there. Rick Barnes had KD, a grown man out there. KD was tough. His one year at Texas, KD was. That's when I know homo. I know who I am as a man, but I fell in love with KD that day when he was in Texas, bro. I was a little mad at him for going to state for a little bit, but then when I had Instagrammed him and he told me, shout out KD, I had Instagrammed him. He told me what happened. He told me, don't worry. He said, I'm gonna leave in a couple years. I understood. He said, but I got to beat up on LeBron a little bit. So I understood. He's like, if you're a real Kobe fan, you'll be okay with this. So I understood. So yeah, KD happened to be the best, one of the best players I ever.
You know, his team never made it past.
I got some honorable mentions, man, but we'll be here all day.
Yeah, this list can go on forever. So Bruce, did you get a chance to think of anybody yet?
Yeah, now that I thought about like some of the players I've been able to see, Breanna Stewart. Back when I was like, that's really how I was able to actually get into women's college basketball, you know. Just at first I was just watching men's, but then when I saw that dominant UConn team, started watching her a little bit. Kimba, my boy AD, for even though that one year I remember watching Kentucky that year. And then more recent, just this was last year, but one of my favorite players, low key, Carson Edwards. Watching that March Madness run last year he had with Purdue. He dropped
amazing.
Yeah, he dropped 42. Then he did it again, 42 on UVA, hit 10 threes. Just thinking about it. He was one of my favorite college players to watch last year. So I would have to throw him in there too. Maybe not one of the more talented players I've seen, but he's actually low key one of my favorite players that I got to see in college.
Well, Edwards did put that Purdue team on his back and carry him to that great run against UVA. I mean, it was like one of those once in a lifetime performances for somebody, you know, like that basically made his draft stock go from here to here, you know. And
let him get picked in the second round.
Yeah, because I don't think he would have been drafted until that game happened. Because that just put his name on the national spotlight, so people like to see who he really was as a player. So I that's a good pick. That's like a good sleeper pick. I like someone no one thought about when it comes to like the greatest players watching of the modern era. So that's nice 30 minutes of NC2A college talk. We can switch over to a little bit of pro sports when we talk about. Have you been hearing what's going on with a lot of the leagues trying to figure out how to restart up? I've watched a little bit of Sports Center. They're talking about, you know, the NFL's probably going to have the draft like this through Zoom, through remote. You hear stuff like hearing stuff about like how baseball is trying to start the season around around May 15th and trying to get it going and playing more doubleheaders. You talk about you see that WrestleMania is coming up this weekend. They're still performing the show. You have, you know, so many things going on this week. So I want to throw this out to one of you guys. Like, what's going on in the sports world that you think is the most polarizing topic going right now in the sports world outside of this NCAA bracket of greatest of all time?
Right now, I think it's I don't know. I think it's a tie between NBA and NFL, you know, because, I mean, you got the NFL draft coming up, and, you know, now they're talking about how they're going to go. They're talking about two ways to look at the draft. You know, one way to look at it as, you know, like you said, you can do the draft virtually through Zoom or whatever, but then you have players, you have draftees that's coming in that's kind of like, no, you know, we worked our tails off or our asses off, you know, to get to this point, you know, hell no, you know, we want that moment to shake the commissioner's hand, even if we got to wear gloves and a mask. Apparently, I guess that's what they're planning on doing. But you know, they're thinking about moving to a smaller venue where, you know, it's a little bit concluded, whatever, I mean, whatever the word is. Yeah. But they're looking at, so I mean, they still want that opportunity to shake the commissioner's hand. So that's still on the table. But also, you know, I'm hearing that a lot of the free agency signings have been kind of damaged because of this whole coronavirus stuff. Because you got people like Cam Newton that still isn't signed. You got people like Jameis Winston. Jameis Winston had 33 touchdowns last year, led all of passing in all the bad and good categories, and isn't signed.
And he had 30 interceptions.
I said bad and good. 33 touchdowns and 30 interceptions. So
Shit.
That he's right now being I don't want to call it blackballed, but he really should be with the job right now, and it's hard to figure out where Jameis is gonna go. Because you got a lot of teams that either already have a starter in place or would can only bring Jameis in as a backup position. Like I can't really point my finger on one team that just be like, oh yeah, Jameis can go there and start in no time. Like I mean, you got teams like that going on.
Chargers can go there.
Who?
Chargers need a quarterback.
No. As much as people rag on Tyrod Taylor, I really like Tyrod Taylor. Tyrod Taylor, when given a chance, he took Buffalo to the playoffs just 3 years ago.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Nathan Peterman.
And they took up his job for Nathan Peterman, the interception king. He's not even in the league anymore. So. I mean, even though they got lucky, they got Josh Allen, but Tyrod Taylor isn't a bad quarterback. I see more Cam Newton going there, and if Tyrod Taylor has a bad year or bad start to a year, you can slide Cam in there, who is an upgrade to Tyrod Taylor.
What the Cowboys need to do is drop that whole Dak Prescott situation and go after Cam Newton. That's what we need.
I don't think they would do that.
Maybe already signed to a franchise tag. So.
Dak is a better passer. In my opinion, Cam is the better overall player. Dak is the better passer, more accurate passer when it comes to throwing the football.
Speaking of Cam, did you hear what Stephen A. Smith said about how Carolina did Cam dirty?
No.
Stephen A. said basically Carolina waited for Cam to get healthy just to cut him. Like, so
I believe so. I believe so.
Cleared. So they don't have to worry about his contract. It's like, oh, we just won't pay him the rest of his contract. So
I mean, it's better if they traded him when he was healthy than when he was damaged or injured. That way he won't have any trade value, right?
Yeah, but he has no. I mean, they cut him. They just cut him. He had 1 year left on his deal, but it was not guaranteed, so they cut him. I think they only had to pay him like a small portion of his salary left over, like a couple $1 million. It's like dead cap money. So it's basically smart business by them, but it's terrible business to the athlete.
Well, yeah, definitely.
It's not a 5-year deal, but they only honor 3 of them. This is why whenever a player holds out, it's like get as much money as possible, because especially in football, because they won't honor your contract. So why you get to honor your contract? Because what's the name? The running back for Atlanta, Dr. Freeman had a year left in his contract. They cut him,
he has. I don't even think he's been picked up yet. Has anybody picked him up?
No.
I don't think so.
I'll tell you one thing that I'm interested in. In my mind, it's not traditional sports related, but Roman Reigns had to back out of WrestleMania because he's a 2-time leukemia survivor. So he has a compromised immune system. So with this whole COVID-19 thing going around, and them forcing these guys to have the show, which is pre-taped, by the way, so it doesn't really matter. But him backing out at WrestleMania because he's supposed to be in the main event against Goldberg for the championship.
Stupid.
Goldberg.
Right.
But Vince McMahon's like, we're just going, you want to wrestle the main event. Hey, pal, I'm Vince McMahon. I got my power walk here. Everybody's going to WrestleMania. And dude, he's sick. Like he came back from leukemia twice. You want to put him in this position where he can possibly get sick again? Evil people, evil corporation. They need to cancel my contract subscription. But that's one thing I was looking at this weekend. Yeah, that's one storyline of this week is kind of interesting about him backing out of WrestleMania because of his leukemia. So,
and apparently the script for WrestleMania has already been leaked.
Yeah, they recorded already. It's gonna be tape all tape matches. They record all week, so which is gonna make it hard to watch. By the way, by the way, like I said, you guys are welcome to join my WrestleMania watch party. I invited all you guys to it. I think I invite you to it, Bruce, as well. We're doing it through Zoom. Enjoy it with a bunch of friends of mine from home and whatnot. We'll just I'll screen share it. I'll screen share it with everybody so everybody can keep up and watch with us. It's gonna be a fun time. So Bruce, what about yourself? What do you think is the most polarizing story in sports of this week?
Polarizing. I don't even know, honestly. With sports, I think it might be the NFL draft and how the rookies are coming up. I've seen on my timeline a lot of people talking about trade and possible signings and stuff like that. So I mean, last week it was Tom Brady. So I think people are trying to just find anything to keep it something relevant. You see it all day, every day. So I mean, I haven't really stayed too high on the sports news as far as what's going on, because I mean, it's just like, oh, this person got COVID-19 and this person's been convicted. Been in close with some contact with somebody with it, and I'm just like, this was what's going on in the sports. I don't even want to look at it. Like that's and I've been seeing a lot of anything involved in the NBA. That's what I've been seeing. So it's just like, oh gosh, like I keep looking at this.
You're the NBA guy. You hear that James Dolan caught COVID-19 as well, the Knicks owner.
Yeah, and Doris Burke.
Yeah, Doris Burke. That was really sad. Blew my mind. I love Doris Burke. She's one of the best announcers in the NBA, especially on ESPN. She's one of their best workers. So, and hearing her get is like, that's terrible. It's like I love listening to her call games. She's one of my favorite my favorite announcers on the NBA. So,
when I heard that, it was kind of like, wow. All right, well, a lot of people, coming in contact with that, people getting on flights or traveling, or, who have like very big public jobs when it comes to media. Those production teams are high numbered groups of people. So you just never know what's going on. And it's just crazy, it's crazy. So thankfully everybody's been safe. A lot of people I know has been safe. So a lot of athletes and actors and, are getting it. So
cool.
Yeah.
Bruce, what about yourself? What's going? You think it's the most polarizing story going on your sports timelines on the Twitter machine?
Yeah, I gotta agree with Grizz on this one. I mean, the NBA right now it's not a lot going on. It's just the biggest highlights have been Dolan and Burke getting corona, so that's not really that breaking news to me, especially with the way the virus has been transmitting. So with that, I probably gotta agree with what everyone else has been saying and go with the NFL at this point. Trying to make a little bit of sense out of not only how, but like when the new 17 game format, like what's going on with that, how that might affect the league when it comes out. But other than that, just the draft and whether or not they're going to try and have that at maybe a new, smaller location or venue. But I mean, other than that, I got to say probably the NFL has been the most polarizing thing in sports this week.
I mean, they did put out some information about the NBA. I guess now they're having a 2K tournament with the NBA. You have the best player, the best overall rated player from each team versus a lower rated player. Like Kevin Durant is going up against who?
DJJ.
Yeah. And yeah. Holy cow. That's going to be a good one. Like, that's going to be televised on ESPN, and that's only ESPN doing something to stay afloat, because they don't really have much to show. They're running out of ESPN classics, so I mean, everything right now is really dry right now because of the coronavirus. I'm sticking to my phone every day, just listening to NFL transactions. There's been a rumor going around that my favorite team, the Browns, is playing with muddy waters on possibly getting Jadeveon Clowney. That'd be very good. That'd be a big pickup.
For sure. I was thinking like, and even with the I was just thinking the point you made about But yeah, oh yeah, I was thinking about. So even with the teams at the season, how did they say it was going to do the playoffs with the seeding of the playoffs?
I
the
think
NFL.
Yeah,
oh yeah, it's supposed to be only the number one seed in each conference gets a first round bye, and then I think the 2 seed chooses who they want to pick. They want to play in the first round, which I don't think that makes any sense because that means would you want to play the worst seeded team anyway? So you're gonna play the lower seed anyway. So what's the point? I want to pick that team because no, you don't choose who you play. You play who's in front of you, and that's the way it works. What Herman Hurd said.
that's crazy, man. Damn.
All right, well, gentlemen, before we got about 10 minutes left on the show. I want to actually do a little more roundtable discussion about the sports world. Like, what is for me? I know it's on my docket this weekend. So what is on your guys' docket this weekend when it comes to trying to keep yourself sane in the sports world? If since there is no live sports going on, how are you going to keep your sports taste buds, satisfied when it comes to logging into the world and seeing what's going on out there?
Oh wait, I did send a bracket. I don't know if y'all got it.
Oh, let me check. Maybe I'm not sure if I got it or not, but I'll look at it.
Starting with
Check
me,
the text
man,
message.
I'm just gonna continue to just look on Twitter and use Stadium. Like, man, I I got this bracket on my phone that not bracket. You know those little memes where they have what table would you sit at?
Yeah.
So I got one. I'm about to tell y'all. All right, so table 1, you have Bill Belichick, Nick Saban, and John Madden. And I don't think I would sit at that table. Table 2, you have Tom Brady, Antonio Brown, and the owner of the Patriots,
Bob Kraft.
Rob Kraft. Yeah, that would be an interesting table. Table 3, you got Richard Sherman, Marshawn Lynch, and Pete Carroll.
That's the table I'm sitting at.
Yeah.
Table 4, you got Dak Prescott, Tony Romo, and Jerry Jones.
That table.
Table 5, you got Ray Lewis, O.J. Simpson, Ray Lewis, O.J. Simpson, and Tim Tebow.
Oh no, I'm good, yeah. I'm good. I'm going with Marshawn and
Hey, hold on, I'm not done.
And Richard Sherman.
Table 6, you got what's the on Get Up? Damn, what's his name?
Greenberg?
No, the coach.
Magoo?
No. The coach that he used to coach the Ravens and the Jets.
Oh, you're talking about Rex Ryan?
Rex Ryan, no, my bad. Rex Ryan, Joe Namath, and not Joe Namath. Who's the one that wears all the fur coats? That's the quarterback. That's
Joe
not.
Namath.
Yeah, Joe Namath. Rex Ryan, Joe Namath, and Gronk. Rex Ryan, Joe Namath, and Gronk. That's an interesting table. I think this next table, one of these next 2 tables, I think I might sit at. I think table 7 will be the interesting table. Table 7, you got T.O., Odell Beckham, and Chad Ochocinco, Chad Johnson. I think that's the table I might sit at. I think table 8, you got Johnny Manziel, Josh Gordon, and Baker Mayfield. That would be an interesting table to sit at too. Table 9, I think this table you might like, Chuck. It's Donovan McNabb, Nick Foles, and Carson Wentz.
Ooh,
and table 10 is
no Jaworski? No Jaworski?
No. Table 10 is Colin Kaepernick, Jameis Winston, and Cam Newton. All black quarterbacks, no job.
Damn.
Oh, man.
That table you had with O.J. Simpson and Ray Lewis.
Tim Tebow.
They should take out Tim Tebow and put Travis Henry in. Do you remember Travis Henry, the running back?
No,
Ray Rice.
No, not they need to put Aaron Hernandez. That'd be a very good table.
He's not making that meeting. You know,
bring your spirit back. Put a hologram of him sitting there.
They put Ray Lewis, O.J. Simpson, and Ray Rice all at one table.
Oh, Ray.
Just a bunch of wild ass.
That Odell, T.O., and Ocho Cinco, I'm telling you, that would probably be the funniest table there. Because even though like Chad Johnson and T.O., like they entertain, especially Chad Johnson. I follow him on Twitter and Instagram. And T.O., he funny, bro. You get them two together, that's an entertainment, bro. They had their own show. I used to watch their show was so good. And you put Odell there, oh man, I have stomach cramps. I'd be crying so bad. I would be dying, bro. That table would be fun. But no, so let's go back to the bracket, man. We got 9 minutes before we gotta get out of here, man. Let's see what I saw the bracket, man. Bracket was pretty dope.
Yeah, we have the sixth man, all-time sixth man of the year. Let me see. I can. Wish you could. I'm not sure how I can upload it from my phone to Zoom here, but I'll just go ahead and read it off for everybody who's listening. We have. I hate when it's auto switches. We have John Starks from the New York Knicks, Tony Kukoc from the Bulls, Jason Terry from the Mavericks, Kevin McHale from the Celtics, Manu Ginobili from the Spurs, J.R. Smith from the Knicks, Jamal Crawford from the Clippers, and Lamar Odom from the Lakers. The best six-man bracket. Let's go ahead
and to know, each of these people won the Sixth Man of the Year award in the year that this post next to their name. So they were actually the best sixth man of that year.
So Starks was in 96-97. I graduated.
Yep.
Kukoc was in 95-96. Jerry was in 08-09. McHale 83-84. Ginobili was 07-08. J.R. Smith was 12-13. Crawford was 13-14, and Odom was 2010-11.
And that's two, and those majority of their best teams too. Most of those teams went to either the second round of playoffs or the finals, So yeah.
Was that the year Starks went over the finals?
Yes, that's exactly. I think that's exactly when. I'm not sure. You would know more than I would.
The Bulls won the championship that year, 97. So I think Starks went 0 for the next year against Houston. I think it was.
Damn.
Knicks played Houston. 98.
Poor Nick.
Kukoc and this is a tough choice. The matchup between Starks and Kukoc that year. That I'm going with Kukoc because they won. Like the story. His sixth man of the year was very hugely contributed to the Bulls winning championship that year. Terry versus McHale. I go with Kevin McHale. He's a Hall of Famer.
I think, but yeah, I mean that's true. That's true.
J.R. Smith versus Ginobili. Come on, bro. Ginobili all day, every day.
But man, hold on. They doing it by years though. You just can't go by their names. You got to go by that year because you figure 12-13 Ginobili. I mean 12-13 J.R. Smith.
Going off.
Against 07-08 Ginobili. Like 13-14 Jamal Crawford was a beast, but 10-11 Lamar Odom wasn't the best. 10-11 Lamar Odom was the down year when the Lakers got swept by Dallas in the first round. So
Jamal Crawford's never been deep in the playoff run in his career. So even though
Jamal Crawford had the Clippers made what? At least the second round, right?
The Western Didn't they go Western Conference against the
semifinals? They never made the
Clippers. Never made the Western.
Oh yeah.
They made the semifinals. But yeah, if you look at it, I'll go with that by year. Kukoc, the 95-96, the Bulls won the championship that year, and John Starks 96-97 didn't win a championship the year. So the tiebreaker goes to this. I don't have any rings here, so who am I talking about?
08-09, isn't that the Dallas Mavericks that beat LeBron?
No, that was 10-11.
Okay, that was 10-11.
So McHale in 83-84. Did the Celtics win the championship that year in 83-84? I think so. Either one championship or they lost to the Lakers. It's one of the two. I can't remember off the top of my head.
Oh man, you was born before us, Grandpa. You tell us.
Hey, you kids! You young whippersnappers. They whip behind the ears. Tell you, back in my day, all we need is some tussin and hands of Windex. We in the pandemics. I drink
My thing
Walmart.
with the Manu Ginobili and J.R. Smith, that one's a tough one for me. I think that might be one of the toughest ones on here for me. Because J.R. Smith was a vital piece in that New York Knicks. I'm not saying Ginobili.
Neither won a championship. That year, the 07-08, that was the year the Celtics won. 12-13, that was the year
The Spurs, I think.
the Spurs won.
Right.
Who I don't know. I think we'll look at the numbers straight up to head to head. So that could be definitely, we can break that down further in our next episode because we're about to wrap it up here and we have about 5 minutes remaining. So, gentlemen, parting shots from everybody here for this current episode of Sports Serve Neat.
Oh yeah, I gotta get my drink. Hold on.
Post.
I get my sip drink.
I got my drink and my tooth over here.
I'm gonna keep my drink hidden for promotional purposes.
Do I get my sip drink ready? Okay, got my tequila.
What kind of tequila is this?
Since we doing shots, this is some bullshit rail tequila that I got.
I
might
Don't tell me to start
right here, ready to roll.
Yo, so let me ask y'all a question before we do a toast. Do y'all really feel that RJ Bentley's is the best bar in College Park?
What bar?
Absolutely
RJ
not.
Bentley's.
Bentley's? Hell no.
I don't know why that happened. Why we even put that bar up?
Did y'all see the bar stool? Did y'all see the bar stool bar? It's every college's bar, whatever the best bar is, and RJ Bentley's made it for College Park. I said, how the hell?
Well, I mean, look at the demographic that goes to Bentley and that goes to Maryland. Like, I'm not even trying to lie to you. Like, when I lived at the varsity, I had 2 roommates. They were white. They were both. Well, one of them was in the. Actually, both of them were in the frat. But they took me to Bentley's, and literally everybody knew everybody, bruh. Like, and I'm the only one sitting around like, damn, how do I even start a conversation in this joint? Like, this is weird. Like, I'm going with
Bentley Tuesdays.
I'm going with Looney's.
Yo, Looney's the best bar in College Park.
That crab dip is crazy. That shit is crazy.
Looney's got the best bar in College Park.
And they get the cranking on Saturdays. It turns to like a little club.
Yeah, I'm going with Looney's. I need to spend more time with Looney's when things get back to normal. I like it better.
And unfortunately, go ahead, Charles.
Because even though I go to Cornerstone and I always get cooked up there because the people are a lot of bartenders there, but Looney's is a better bar.
Cornerstone growing on me, but Cornerstone is not too far from RJ Bentley's in my opinion. But I'll go there. I'll go to Cornerstone before because Cornerstone food is actually decent. I'll go to Cornerstone before, before the big crowd comes. But if I have my preference, it's always gonna be Looney's. And my boy Charles then put me on CP Hall, College Park Hall. Yeah.
Oh,
so
yeah. I remember him to that joint.
Yeah, that's my new
Tuesday night happy hour, man. $6 pizzas. $6 pizzas.
When this get back normal, man, we're gonna have to shoot live from there, man. Get back to our thing.
They have a great venue for shooting, and Gracie's definitely look at a place for like performing as well because they have a great little concert hall as well.
Oh, and then I was about to say, with Looney's they got a DJ booth. So,
yeah.
But
all right, gentlemen, it's 4:00. Happy hour just began. So, cheers, everybody. All right. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning in to Sports Serve Neat, along with myself, Charles Yunga. We have Grizz, Bruce, and Marshawn. You can follow me at Charles Yunga. That's CharlesNyonga, and all social media platforms. Grizz, how about yourself?
You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at GRXZZLY94.
Bruce, we can find you on the social media.
Hey, for everyone that knows me, they know Kendrick's my man. Follow me on Insta and Twitter at k.son, KDOTSSON.
And lastly, Marshawn, tell them where they can find you, sir.
You can follow me on Instagram at Sershawn90, and then on Twitter, Sershawn_90.
Well, gentlemen, it's been a great show. Thanks for participating. And the teaser for next week, the next show on Thursday, we're going to do a little WrestleMania preview, break it down for everybody. Marshall has some of his people come in. His uncle, you said your uncle's a big fan, so he's
my uncle gonna stop in.
Excellent. So this has been Sports Serve Neat, broadcasting on my YouTube channel. Ladies and gentlemen, have a great day, and the bar is definitely still open for business.